There comes a point in every life when worry takes the front seat. It creeps in quietly, sometimes through the uncertainty of tomorrow, sometimes through the fear of loss, sometimes through the haunting what-if-us that echo in our minds late at night. We tell ourselves we're just being responsible, just planning ahead. But somewhere along the way, worry takes control, and peace slips quietly out the back door of our hearts. You know that feeling, don't you? You lie awake wondering how the bills will be paid. You replay conversations, second-guess decisions, fear what might happen if one thing goes wrong. You try to smile, you try to pray, but inside you feel a storm that won't settle. My friend, this message is for you, because today we're not going to manage worry. We're going to leave it behind. When worry grips your heart, it's like walking through life carrying a heavy stone in your chest. Every step feels harder. Every day feels longer. But here's the truth, worry doesn't change tomorrow. It only drains today. It never solved a problem, never healed a wound, never brought peace. It only multiplies fear. And yet, we keep carrying it, thinking if we worry enough, maybe we'll find control. But what if I told you that the very thing you fear losing control was never meant to be yours? What if you discovered that the hands holding your life are stronger, wiser, and infinitely more loving than your own? That's the turning point. That's where faith enters. When you finally surrender your fear, when you hand over your worry to the one who sees the end from the beginning, something miraculous happens. You begin to breathe again. You begin to live again. Because peace isn't found in the absence of problems, it's found in the presence of trust. In this message, I'm going to show you how to walk away from worry once and for all. We'll talk about what it really means to trust, how to silence that anxious voice in your mind, and how to replace it with a steady, unshakable confidence that no storm can shake. So don't you dare click away. Don't stop listening now, because before this message ends, you're going to find out that you don't have to live one more day weighed down by fear, anxiety, or doubt. You can leave it all behind. You can rise above the noise of your thoughts and step into peace, the kind that no circumstance can take away. Stay with me, because today might just be the day you finally leave worry behind and never pick it up again. You know, worry is a thief. It doesn't knock on the door. It slips quietly into your mind, pulls up a chair, and starts whispering all the things that could go wrong. It doesn't ask for permission. It just takes over your thoughts, your sleep, your peace. You wake up tired because you spent all night wrestling with things that never even happened. You replay moments that can't be changed and rehearse futures that may never come. And before you know it, you're carrying a weight you were never meant to bear. Worry disguises itself as responsibility. It tells you that you're being careful, being prepared, but what it's really doing is draining your strength before the battle even begins. It feeds on your imagination, painting pictures of disaster while hope fades quietly into the background. Have you ever noticed that worry always focuses on what's missing, what's uncertain, what could go wrong, but never on what's right? It takes your eyes off everything you have and fixes them on everything you fear. That's the weight of worry. It presses down until your joy can't breathe. You try to pray, but your thoughts scatter. You try to focus, but your mind keeps drifting to that same anxious place. Worry is relentless. It follows you to work, rides with you in the car, sits beside you at dinner. It's like carrying a heavy backpack everywhere you go, filled with stones labeled, what if, how, and why me? And yet you hold on to it as if it's somehow keeping you safe. But listen, worry doesn't protect you. It punishes you. It doesn't prepare you for tomorrow. It paralyzes you today. It's like standing in quicksand. The more you struggle, the deeper you sink. And deep down, you know it's true. You've tried to think your way out of it, plan your way through it, but the peace never comes that way. The truth is, every ounce of energy you give to worry is energy stolen from your purpose. Every minute spent fearing what might happen is a minute lost from what is happening. You weren't created to carry that burden. You were created to live with freedom, with faith, with a calm assurance that even when life shakes, you don't have to. Worry weighs you down, but faith lifts you up, and that's where the shift begins. Have you ever noticed how much of our worry comes from trying to control what we were never meant to control? We make plans, set goals, organize every detail, and convince ourselves that if we just hold things tightly enough, nothing will fall apart. But life has a way of reminding us control is an illusion. We can't control the wind, the storms, or even the people we love most. And yet we spend countless hours trying, don't we? Trying to fix, to manage, to predict. We think if we worry long enough, maybe the outcome will bend in our favor. But that's not how it works. Worry doesn't change the future, it only changes the present. You see, when we try to take the steering wheel of life into our own hands, we end up driving ourselves straight into exhaustion. Because control is heavy, it's demanding, relentless, and it never rests. There's always another detail to check, another outcome to fear, another possibility to plan for. And when things don't go the way we expect, and they rarely do, we panic. We question everything. Why didn't it work out? What did I miss? How do I fix it now? But the truth is, we were never meant to carry that kind of pressure. There's freedom in realizing that some things are simply beyond us. You can't control the seasons, the timing, or the hearts of others. You can only choose how to respond, with fear or with faith. It's a hard lesson, isn't it? Because control makes us feel safe even when it's false security. We cling to it because letting go feels risky, but holding on too tightly only keeps us anxious. Real peace doesn't come from knowing what's next. It comes from knowing who holds what's next. That's where calm begins, when you release your grip on what you cannot manage and rest in the truth that there is one who can. The illusion of control will always whisper, "You're not doing enough." But the voice of peace says, "You were never meant to do it all." And that's when your heart begins to breathe again, when you stop fighting for control and start living with confidence that no matter what tomorrow brings, you are not alone in it. And that's when your heart begins to breathe again, when you stop fighting for control and start living with confidence that no matter what tomorrow brings, you are not alone in it. Because that's where trust begins. Trust is not passive, it's powerful. It's not the absence of care, it's the presence of confidence in something greater than yourself. Trust says, I don't have to know how this will work out to believe that it will. But let's be honest, trust doesn't come easy. We live in a world that teaches us to rely on ourselves, to build our own security, to have a plan for every possibility. And when life shakes that foundation, we scramble to rebuild it with worry instead of resting in faith. Yet, faith isn't built on what you can see, it's built on who you know. And when you truly know that your life is held by hands that never fail, you can face uncertainty with calm assurance. Trust is a choice you make before you see the outcome. It's saying, even if I don't understand this moment, I know I'm not forsaken in it. It's the calm in the storm, the whisper in the chaos that reminds you, you don't have to hold everything together, because the truth is, you were never the glue that kept life from breaking apart. Every time worry knocks on the door of your mind, trust answers it with peace. Every time fear tries to steal your focus, trust speaks louder, saying, I've seen too much grace to start doubting now. It's the voice that reminds you of every time you've been carried when you didn't have strength. Every time a door opened when you thought it was the end. Every time a way appeared when you couldn't see one. That's not coincidence, that's care. So when the unknown stretches before you and your mind starts to fill with what ifs, remember this trust isn't built in comfort, it's forged in surrender. It's when you stop trying to figure everything out and start leaning on the one who already has. And when that trust settles deep within you, fear loses its voice. The storm may still rage, but your heart stands steady, anchored in something unshakable. The storm may still rage, but your heart stands steady, anchored in something unshakable. And when that happens, when trust takes root deep within your soul, something extraordinary begins to grow from it. Peace. Not the kind of peace the world talks about, the kind that depends on quiet days or smooth sailing, but a peace that defies logic, a peace that stands tall even when everything else seems to be falling apart. You've felt that kind of peace before, haven't you? The kind that doesn't make sense, when everything around you is uncertain, but somehow inside you know it's going to be all right. That's not the absence of problems. That's the presence of divine peace. It's not denial, it's assurance. It's that still, gentle calm that whispers, you don't have to understand this to be at rest. And that peace doesn't come through effort. It comes through surrender. The moment you release your grip on fear, that's the very moment peace finds room to move in. You see, worry and peace can't share the same space. One has to leave for the other to enter. And when you finally let go, when you stop trying to force the outcome and start trusting the process, peace rushes in like a tide filling an empty shore. This peace isn't fragile, it's fierce. It guards your mind when thoughts try to spiral. It holds your heart when news shakes your world. It's not the kind of peace that comes from things going right. It's the kind that stays even when everything goes wrong, because it's not built on circumstances, it's built on confidence. That's what the world can't understand, how you can smile in the storm, how you can worship when you're wounded, how you can rest when everything feels restless. But you know what's happening inside? You're being held by peace that passes all understanding, the kind that the world didn't give and the world can't take away. It's a peace that quiets the noise of your thoughts, silences the fear of tomorrow, and steadies your soul in the middle of uncertainty. And once you've tasted that kind of peace, you'll never trade it for the false security of control or the restless weight of worry ever again. You'll never trade it for the false security of control or the restless weight of worry ever again. Because when peace takes root in your heart, it opens the door to something even greater, freedom. Real, unshakable, soul-deep freedom. The kind that allows you to wake up each morning without the shadow of yesterday hanging over your head, without the anxiety of tomorrow stealing the joy of today. That's the freedom of a heart that has finally learned to let go. When you leave worry behind, you don't just gain peace, you gain your life back. You start to notice things you missed before, the warmth of the sunrise, the laughter in a friend's voice, the quiet strength that comes from simply being present. Worry used to steal those moments, didn't it? It blurred your vision and silenced your gratitude. But when you live free, gratitude becomes your natural rhythm. Every breath becomes a reminder that you are sustained, guided, and protected. Freedom means you no longer measure your days by what went wrong, but by what grace made right. You stop living in survival mode and start living in purpose mode. You stop saying, what if, and start saying, even if the plan changes, even if the road gets rough, even if you don't understand the timing, you walk forward with confidence, knowing peace has already gone before you. That's when your energy shifts. You begin to live lighter, love deeper, and serve with joy instead of fear. You stop reacting to life and start responding to it with faith. And suddenly, you're not just existing, you're truly living. Worry once changed your mind. Now freedom fuels your spirit. The world around you may still be uncertain, but inside you've been set free. You've learned that the only way to truly live is to trust, to release, to rest. That's the beauty of leaving worry behind. It doesn't just change how you think, it transforms who you are. Because when peace becomes your foundation, freedom becomes your lifestyle. And that's when life becomes what it was always meant to be, whole, fearless, and full of joy.